So, welcome again. We are here again. Welcome to our talk, Collaboration Makes Circular Economy Work. I've already mentioned that collaboration plays a major role here, and now I'm very happy to have those gentlemen here who can talk about that project I talked about some minutes ago. You know already David Stover as co-founder and CEO of Bureo. With me here is also Manfred Hackl, CEO of the Erema Group. And I'm very sorry, I have to look it up. Dr. Chistoph Steger from ENGEL, AUSTRIA GmbH, CSO. And last but not least, we have here with us Michael Lackner from Lindner-Recyclingtech. Well, we were talking about collaboration, and you have a very specific project here. My first question goes to Manfred Hackl. Would you please explain to us what exactly you are doing here? We are here in the outdoor area of the cave here, and we have several pavilions, and somehow they are a bit connected with each other. Please, could you say something about that?
We have outside here the Circonomic Center of Erema, and this center should on one hand show what is possible with recycling. We are processing 10 different materials during the whole show. Should also show which end products are possible. And in the cooperation with the other companies, we can show a complete kind of loop. In this case, for example, material which is grinded by Lindner, fishnet, by us pelletized and then injected on an injection machine. So it shows really if the industry is working together and if we find a good customer who is taking the opportunity for that, then we are moving forward as a plastic industry.
Okay, so you provided the fishing nets, I guess, yeah, and then in the end, what do we find here? Which product do we have?
On the one side, we have a small waste bin, but that's not in this project. I'm actually a little bit confused because we have like 25 end products here. What do we produce here in that machine? The small box. Yeah, it's a small box that is produced out of the regranulated recycled material. And it shows exactly what is all behind the circular economy. It's to really regenerate new valuable material out of waste and use it for long-lasting products at the end of the day that are not just thrown away after another day, but can be used for a longer period of time.
What I would like to know is, I know, the role of Erema when it comes to recycling technology. I think washing and shredding is very important. But could you tell us a bit more about your perspective on this project and what you think is the benefit of it for your company, this special kind of cooperation?
Yeah, we are at the beginning of the cycle after the collection. We take care that the materials are shredded, reduced, sorted. We need for recycling purposes, we need as clean material as possible. So we sort them and we wash them and clean them so that they are perfectly prepared for the next step, which is the extrusion step. So our task is at the beginning of the cycle to make, let's say, a perfect granulate, which then can be processed into pellets. That's our task. Mm-hmm. And the advantage of the whole thing is one company cannot close the complete loop. So it starts with the collection, with the preparation of the waste, and then it goes through the different steps so that it can be reused in a product again. Yeah. So we see ourselves as let's say, as one wheel in the whole chain, and we are very proud and we are very glad that the industry is moving a little bit better together, which will be a benefit for the industry as a whole.
Mm-hmm. So the next question to Manfred Hackl. Would you say that there is a general change that can be seen in the plastics industry towards a circular economy?
Yes, there's a tremendous change. If you think back on the last K-show, there was more or less nothing mentioned about circular economy and about cooperation for this business. And if you look this K-show, it's one of the main topic of the K-show, also for the VDMA. And it shows really that the plastic industry has recognized, due to the force of the NGOs, that we have to work together to create the value for the plastic industry, to create the value and to show that plastic has a value. And we need plastic, otherwise we cannot be alive in future. With CO2, with power, with water, with all that we need plastic. But the industry has to take care the circular economy point too. And that's the reason why all of them now are working strongly and fast forward together.
Christoph Steger. I think when it comes to recycling technology, washing, shredding, everyone knows, oh yeah, it's about plastic recycling and circular economy. That's out of question. But what about you as an injection molding machinery manufacturer? Is that topic new for you, or what was your experience through that project?
Well, I think the topic to use recycled material itself is not a brand new one, but there has been a tremendous shift in the perception and also the vision why we use recycled material. Whereas in the past it was basically just used to reduce cost, because recycled material seemed to be cheaper than virgin material. Nowadays it's about sustainability, and it's about really the reuse of recycled material, not just to get the cost down, but to really have a sustainable product chain or even product loop. So that has changed throughout the last 3 years to a very heavy extent.
So you see an increasing demand from your customers to process recyclates on your machines?
We see an increasing demand to talk about how can we include the topic recycled material into our products. Not only how much recycled material can we use, or can your machine process recycled material, it starts much earlier. It starts already with the product development itself. What do I need to bear in mind when I design a new product, when I want to use recycled material, at least to a certain major extent, not only a small one, but a major extent? That has changed. We are confronted much earlier in the product development phase to discuss our experience with the usage of recycled material and what it means for the product, for the mold, and for the processing itself.
Mm-hmm. So is there also the product design for recyclability a topic, or just the use of recyclates?
No, definitely, and that's what I meant. We are already we are contacted when the product itself, the end product, is being designed, in order to really get our input on what needs to be borne in mind to design it the right way to be able to be processed with recycled material. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, David, coming back to you again. Well, I think during the development of your business, of your company, you had a very close dialogue to the machinery suppliers. Mm-hmm. So, in what way would you say help this dialogue to develop your business?
Yeah, I think, I guess reflecting on the comment about how the previous case show that there wasn't as much on circular economy. I mean, we started in 2012. If you would have Googled recycled materials, there would have been a certain amount. But now if you go onto the internet and Google anything related to reuse or recyclable, or certainly plastics or ocean pollution, the number of projects around the world and companies interested it's unbelievable, the amount of people in the room. And I think this is a great example of, I think the technology has improved. Like, if we were able to witness the Erema machine this morning and what they're able to do, and recognizing the type of material as it's coming through the pelletizer, and certainly pre-process the material from the shredding and the washing, and being able to use that material as a feedstock. And I think the pressure isn't just from governments and NGOs. I think consumers are looking at the products and how they're made, and they're asking companies to source that material more responsibly. And so I think the collaboration here is companies and consumers and governments realizing that we have a lot of material that we've made in the world. Certainly plastic's been around for 60, 70 years. And we also now have the technology and the companies and partners in the room where together, if we're all play our role in the different links in the chain, we can connect the collection to the cleaning, shredding, to the pelletizing, into the production. And I think now that discussion's really at the forefront, and I think the amount of recycled materials that we'll see in products will grow exponentially in the next decade to 2 decades.
So you would say whenever a question about technology came up, then there was a solution in the end.
I think technology also a shift in understanding of the material. Certainly on our side, our role in the supply chain, we focus a lot on education and collection and sorting. And there's a lot of manual labor and time that goes into educating how you can put value into a material, so it has to be really consistent and clean, and that's a very time-consuming process. But all the pieces exist where once you're able to manage that effectively, you can put value into the waste. And I think it's interesting to tell someone about recycling and watch them grapple with thinking about all different types of material and how you could possibly process that. And it's overwhelming, but when you break it into the different steps and you understand that by separating the material and then pre-processing it, you can put it back into a valuable material that can effectively replace like a virgin or a new plastic. And I think that's when you really start to unlock the value in the material.
Mm-hmm. So during the development of your business, well, it's not only a question of technology. Had you to face had you to face obstacles that made it very difficult for you to establish that business? Yeah,
we still face obstacles every day. So I think in the recycling, I mean, the key ones for us certainly getting a handle around logistics and the movement of material. There's been a lot of increased global issues with the movement of material in and out of country, both pre-process and process. That's something that I'm sure everyone here has been experiencing similar things. I mean, for us, we started with collecting the material and having to identify it and learn how to process it. So there's a lot of learning that goes into it. I always say that in the US anyway, thinking about being able to put all sorts of mixed plastic in a blue recycling bin, which is on the curb in California, for me it's overwhelming to think about how they're able to get any value out of that bin when it's moved to a center, because we're so close to the supply chain understanding, just working with one material and making sure that it's clean and processed and transported to then be able to put value into it. I think in general, the recycling programs around the world, I think certainly here in Germany are well advanced of where we are in North America, but educating consumers about how important it is to have a really clean, consistent source of material, and then efficiently transporting that and being able to process it. That's really where you're able to extract value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. So I would like to have a look into the future together with you, and I would like to know what you are expecting from the future, and also what you recommend to the people of the plastics industry. And I would like to start with you.
Yeah, as you mentioned already, we believe there will be a huge pull from the customers, from the public, that we increase the recycling rates, that we bring plastic back into products. And this will bring challenges to the industry as well. So I think we need to improve our collection, let's say increase the collection rate. We need to increase the capacities of our machineries in order to be able to let's say get enough volume back to the consumer brand companies for their packaging. What we do today is we have nice lighthouse projects and we have, let's say, certain closed loops already, but when it's really starting the growth phase, we need much more capacity for recycling in the market. So starting by the collection, it goes further to sorting. We need to have much better clean streams of materials and then increase the capacities of our, let's say, recycling equipment. I think that will be the big challenges which we will have in the future. But the pull will come from the public. I fully agree with you. And this will bring the challenges, nice challenges to us, because we think we have the opportunity to keep with these challenges and solve this problem.
Same question to you. Expectations on one hand, and on the other hand, your recommendations to your sisters and brothers in the plastics industry.
Well, you know, I think there's a huge gap still in between expectations and wishes. Of course, I do have a personal view of how the future should look like, but what do I truly expect? I expect that from the public demand, from the pull, first of all, also governments need to change their attitude towards it, because we all know that it all starts with a proper collecting system. If we don't collect plastics in a proper way, we will never be able to extend the degree of recycling to the extent we probably need in future. And just bearing in mind that I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, the Handelsblatt published a very interesting article about the future of plastics, saying that the global demand gonna double within the next couple of years, based on modern mobility, based on medical treatment necessities and also possibilities. That means we need to do something. We cannot just continue as in the past, simply producing new virgin material and using that twice to the extent we've used it so far. And therefore, what is needed is a mutual, a common approach, being driven by the public recognition, also that not everything can just be cheap, but sustainability also costs a certain amount of money for everyone, but then by the brand owners. The brand owners are the drivers. We know where the most of the waste comes from, and then it goes to the processors and of course also the machinery equipment manufacturers. So my expectation is that we're gonna see a boost in the next couple of years, but more comparable to a hockey stick. So we will see still slight movements in the next couple of years, and then all of a sudden it will take over to become the major topic there.
So, Manfred, Hackl, would you like to make the closing remarks? And yeah, yeah, you know the recycling business, you've been knowing that for a very long time now, and you see the trends, I think, and maybe the way ahead.
My recommendation to the plastic industry, to all of us together, is that the first steps, what we have done the last 2-3 years in circular economy, has to be speeded up dramatically, because on one hand, as we heard, plastic consumption will be 2050 3 to 4 times higher than nowadays. There's no discussion about that. And if we do not solve this issue of circular economy, then we really have a huge problem worldwide. And the second recommendation is, yes, we are in Europe a front runner of circular economy. We can make out of it a business, no discussion about that, but we have to bring this business model and this front runner thoughts to the whole world, because it does not help us anything if we in Europe are green and doing circular economy, and in the other continents it is not done. And we should see that as a chance to move forward with the industry worldwide to save the planet.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you very much here and to the audience for listening to this talk. And I think we gathered a lot of very interesting things, and I think what we can take away is that all of us in the plastics industry can do something about the circular economy. We can bring it forward, and so yeah, I think this is a very good ending of this talk, and a very good start in the first day of the K-Show. Thank you.